the birthday boy from North Carolina, Mr. McDowell.
Thank you, Chairman. I actually have a question for you, and I just want to make sure that I'm in the right place. This is the Budget Committee, correct? It's not the Irony Committee?
This is the Budget Committee, correct?
That's good to know, because it's incredible to me, the irony that my colleagues across the aisle are trying to paint this as a problem that we caused. My 2-year-old, when she breaks something, she doesn't come to me and say, Daddy, why did you break this? Fix it. She comes up and says, I broke this. We have to fix it. They broke this, and we now have to fix it. So, Mr. White, I have some questions for you. Who was the president that signed the Affordable Care Act? Was it Donald Trump?
It was President Obama.
Interesting. Who was in power that drafted that legislation? Was it Republicans?
It was Democrats.
Interesting. The expiration date of the COVID-era tax credits that were put into law to expire when they did, was that done by Republicans or Democrats?
Twice by Democrats.
Who was the president that signed those? Was it Donald Trump?
It was not. It was Barack Obama.
How about that?
Joe Biden.
Yeah, how about that? Do you believe that something that requires so many subsidies to function actually works?
Absolutely not.
So over the past 10 years, we've heard this stat a couple times today, but over the past 10 years, healthcare spending on the federal level has doubled from $937 billion to $1.8 trillion. Does that appear to have helped that industry, or does it appear to have helped the folks that I represent in North Carolina?
What we see in the market is the doubling of costs have generally benefited the large players in the system, whether that's a hospital or an insurer, and you can see that very clearly in their stock prices.
When you find out that your insurance premium has increased, does Congress set those rates, or do the insurance companies set those rates?
The insurance companies do.
Interesting. And when hospitals and insurance companies negotiate the rates that they pay each other, does that process involve Congress in any way?
It does not.
How about that? I want to read you a mission statement from a company, and I want you to tell me if you think it is a health insurance company or someone in the healthcare industry. The mission statement is to build a healthier world by making healthcare easy and affordable. Do you think that that is a private equity firm, or do you think that that's a healthcare company?
Probably a healthcare company.
Interesting. So how about this one? Superior investment performance for clients through intellectual rigor, value investing, and attractive risk-adjusted returns.
Probably an investment company.
So I'm not here to paint anyone as the victim, whether it be private equity, whether it be the healthcare industry, because they're just operating under the rules that my colleagues across the aisle put on them. I would call them handcuffs, not even rules, because they now have to try to make money somehow. And they have appeared to have found that the only way to do that is through vertical and horizontal consolidation. But when you are a private equity firm that owns physician groups, because we've seen that continue to increase, does a private equity firm care more about me getting cheap, inexpensive care, or do they care more about a profit?
They care about profits, but also delivering those services efficiently to lower costs and make better margin.
Yeah, and so what I hear today is my colleagues across the aisle trying to paint us as the people that wrote and then our president signed the Affordable Care Act. We have learned today that that is not actually true. We have been told that all of the problems with rising healthcare costs are at the feet of Republicans. And I cannot tell you just how simply untrue that is. And it's really interesting to me that my colleagues, they continue to speak in hyperbole and just spew irony to try to make this a problem that was caused by Republicans, because it's not. It is not. Everyone, our insurance costs went up. Going to the doctor costs more. And it is all because of what was caused by the Affordable Care Act. And if I had more time, we would get into the troubles of vertical and horizontal integration that help every industry but hurt us. But with that, I'll yield back.